first thing you should do if you're going to get serious about this is outsource your editing.
If you set up the structure right at the start in the first month,
What's up, everybody?
people will just create amazing content for years and years. You set up sort of like a content queue with whatever content is going to get you towards your mission, and you know it's like the right type of content. All you have to do is just show up every day and just build out the queue, and they rip, and it's just like a system that just happens.
I think one of the biggest learnings we've had in the last 6 months is sales is pure hustle, just like relentless nurturing, pinging of the pipeline.
It's funny, whoever comes into this role, like, I think I was kind of like the first person to get cooked. Then Nico got cooked, now Jack's getting cooked, and just like everyone that comes in gets cooked.
Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about smart nonsense. When I got the intros, you know they're coming
Yeah, you
in
don't mess them up.
smooth, buttery, correct. No,
Smart nonsense,
it's
where we
like
talk about smart
8 words.
nonsense. The problem is I go for a more theatrical presentation, and with risk comes reward.
Round of applause from the sound effect
Thanks,
booth
dude.
right there. What's up?
Oh.
Weird day. Been a weird day. We're both kind of out this morning. I did a beautiful, actually one of my favorite things
It's
to do in Chicago
March 20
is the architecture.
2024.
Thursday, March 28th. One of my favorite things to
The
do
only
in
thing to
Chicago
do, some might
is
say.
the Chicago River Cruise, the architecture. I think that's one area we've got New York beat is the architecture. The breadth of architecture.
Yeah, I
here.
just went on a walking tour of.
I learned a
Nice.
lot, actually. Let me tell you just a couple shorts ideas that I got from said architecture tour. One of my favorite things to do in Chicago. Hang tight, because I got to scroll to the bottom of this massive list because I do shorts. How Chicago reversed its slop river that was
That was
polluting
nice.
Lake Michigan.
Used to catch fire.
Hint. The big ditch. That's how they did it.
Ditch.
How buildings stop sway with massive water tanks.
Okay. Well,
Ooh.
the first one, you're gonna make a short out of that. That's not that. That
These
shouldn't
are all
be a
shorts.
short.
Ideas.
No one really cares about Chicago.
How buildings
No,
stop
no. That was
sway?
the second one. The first one.
Oh, get out of here. My shorts. The invention of the Ferris wheel started in Chicago,
Dude, you're just gonna.
which then gave me the
are
idea.
you? Is this? Are you doing
to do-
Paducah too? Are you getting sponsored by local cities?
oh, Paducah inside joke. All right, I'll
we
stop.
almost did
my
sponsored
last one was about
videos for
Paris.
Paducah, Missouri. What place is Kentucky?
For the Kentucky or Kansas. We're gonna work with the Kentucky Board of Travel or something, dude. We were lost.
Still
for a
are, dude.
bit. Let
We
me
might do
tell
some
ya.
skincare commercials pretty soon.
Can I
all
air out a
right.
gripe?
Like,
Is that where we want to
we're already
start?
here?
Oh, he's negative Nelly. Oh.
My bad. I just scoffed. Fucking.
We're
tenders,
already
dude.
here.
A lot. Still not happy about it.
6. Yeah, so we're a little late to the podcast and a little on edge because you just smashed 6 chicken tenders.
Dude, I went to the
mid-afternoon.
bathroom to like
which is a
freshen up
strange
before the
thing to do.
podcast. Dude, I had fucking barbecue sauce all over my face, just like chicken tenders all in my teeth, and I just had to like gargle water for a couple minutes to get everything settled.
Oh man. So give me a little background here. You texted me about a week or two ago. I think I texted you something, and then you texted me like, "Yes, dude, we've got to reach out." We texted each other at the same time. Like, what Zach D Films is doing on YouTube is awesome. We
They're
need to connect
basically
with
like-
this guy because we're in
There
some.
aren't very many people on at least the short form, like shorts on YouTube or really short form in general, that wow us. Like, they put out really good material and they're consistent and it does super well. Not that even like this person, Zach, we're talking about, like his content isn't even like that wow. It's just impressive that he gets a lot of views and like it's pretty informative.
It's so effective. So yeah, at the same time, we were both like, wait, that's what it was. We were like, this is the kind of guy we want in the smart nonsense media umbrella. Like, he should be a teacher in our world because our content's similar. He's probably better at it in a lot of ways.
I was
So
also
how do we get
wondering,
in our
I'm like,
world?
how is this guy putting out? It seemed like he was putting out a lot of content, and I'm like, is it just him? Does he have a team? What is it? Does he want to come into our world? Because we gangly.
We're
That's
positive some guys over here, right? 1 + 1 = 10. So you're like, we should email him. So that's what I did. I went and I searched around and I found his email. Very hard to find anything about this guy on the internet.
Well, you
by the way,
sent
he
me
does a good job
a
of
Facebook video
everywhere.
from 2019 or something.
Yes, but that was just deep in the Zach D Films
Right.
Facebook channel. Like, I don't know his last name, can't figure it out, don't know
Kinda
who he
sick.
is, where he lives.
And he took his
Everything
face off.
online about
His
him is
face
Zach
used to
D
be
Films.
on screen. Now it's just animation.
Yeah. So, and we'll pop this up on YouTube, which is where you should watch this. I email him. Zach, huge fan of your stuff. I also make shorts with my co-founder Dylan. That's all hyperlinked. Super nice. Our mission is to make learning fun. We run a big animation studio. I wanted to dangle a little, like, we have something that you could probably also use. Like, we're in your world, over his little carrot on a stick. Would love to connect if you got any time, Henry. Short and sweet, really short and sweet. And then Zach D Films, he responds, and he gets right to the point. Oh, yeah. So he gets right to the point. Hey, Henry, is it cool if we connect over email for now? ? Do you guys do 3D stuff? ?
Well, was he thinking it was like we were trying to sell him versus like just be his friend?
Dude, I said, huge fan. I do this. Dylan does this. Would love to connect if you got any time. I don't think that's overly salesy. Maybe my signature that's Henry Belcaster clipped, but I wouldn't say overly salesy. Do you think that's the impression he got? Maybe
he jumped right to 3D.
No. Right, so the impression we got, and maybe we shouldn't be airing this out behind his back, but instead
he could have had us in front of his back, in front of his front even.
That's true. Yeah, so the impression we got is like, wow, this guy kind of just ignored my whole email. Is he just cooked because he's editing all day? He's doing 3D renders, and he's putting out a short or two a day. I'm like, for sure, most of our personal stuff's 2D, but we have people on staff that do 3D for clients. Why do you ask? Open-ender. It's an open-ender. And then I wanted to get into his world a little more. I'm like, am I correct to assume your shorts are using CAD models on the internet, then you manipulate and storytell with them? Are you editing yourself? I forgot to say something, so then I sent, also, what happened to your long form? ! It was crushing.
Nice. A lot of questions.
And then I got the message pop. Tons of questions. Right. Because he asked, can we just hang out and email for now? I'm like, yeah, I got all these questions. So, like, I actually forgot we were hanging out in email. That's the point.
Dude.
Which, brilliant on his part, because I asked him all my questions. We didn't have to get on the phone.
Right. This sounds eerily similar to us 3 years ago with HubSpot. When we had zero cash in the bank, they're a $25 billion company. And we're like, you know what? Let's keep it in email. You got some bullet points?
So to recap, I asked him, why are you asking about 3D? Do you use CAD models that you storytell with? Are you editing yourself? And what happened to your long form? It was crushing. Zach D Films responds, shorts are more fun, IMO. Smiley face. IMO, in my opinion. 4 questions. Do you think he didn't see my email before, and he was just responding
I'm wondering
to the,
if he
to the
even
one-liner?
saw if he clicked our channels, because
any way you slice it, cottage cheese, dude. He's like,
yeah.
Okay, so now I'm realizing there's probably a 10 or 20% chance, maybe up to 50%, that he only saw the email, the one-liner I immediately sent. Maybe I should bump him. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it right now.
Sassy.
What about my other
bump?
cues?
Don't hit him with the sassy bump live on the air.
live on the air. Here we go. What about my other
Oh, the
cues?
sassy bump, dude.
LMAO. I'll give him. No. He gets an LMAO and a
Oh,
laughing
hidden right
emoji.
back with the
What about
emojis.
my other cue?
Well,
He like my kind of. I don't know if it's my hope, but like I suspect he's
gotta
cooked because he's editing. And like the first thing we did was like, if we're going to be creators, we cannot also
actually
be
the smartest move
No
of
chance,
all
you just can't.
time. Like, we wouldn't even have a video company, like a way of making money if that weren't the case.
Yeah. Ali Abdal preaches the same thing. Knowing what he knows now, he teaches in his course. Like the first thing you should do if you're going to get serious about this is outsource
Yeah.
your editing, because it's itself a full-time job. Clip.co. Get yourself a full-time editor. Clip.co.
for video. Well, yeah, kind of a similar idea. Didn't get shut down, but there's this other creator, guy that I look up to. What's his fucking name? Julian Dory.
Oh.
I was thinking of his account. It's Trendifier used to be, but he is like, he does these podcasts, usually on like kind of conspiracy theory type stuff, but also has like war stuff that I like, and like CIA, and he's got a lot of like juicy stuff. But he pioneered this really cool short style where, like, instead of just repurposing a clip, he would treat it like sort of a mini documentary trailer where he like intros it, gives plenty of context so that you understand in the first couple seconds, like, hey, this is what the short's about. And they'd get like millions of views. This one that I'm referencing in particular got like 47 million views. So totally killing the game. I went and hung out with him a couple days ago, and he's just fucking cooked out of his mind. Like I asked him, because he was showing me for his long form, he has 100 thumbnails, 100 different thumbnails for one podcast. And I'm like, dude,
Mr. Beast doesn't even do that. Mr. Beast might have 10.
Crazy, dude.
Have 10.
I mean, they're all like subtle variations. Like one, he's like, what if the arrow was green here or red? And changing backgrounds. It was just like,
dude, that's like he's doing like 100 factorial.
And
the combinations,
you were just like
combinatrix.
You'd see our approach, which is like fucking post and ghost, like perfection through iteration, and he's just perfection through 100
inputs.
Revisions. So it's
and then his account got like spam bot attacked and all went to zero.
Right.
And he's like,
and so he's basically been like a one-man army for years. He like recently hired some producer to come help him out. But I asked him, like, dude, this is absolute insanity. Like, you're putting out several podcasts a week, an insane amount of clips, you're doing everything yourself. Like, are you burnt out? And he looks at me, he's like, dude, I got burnt out in 2021. Haven't recovered. Been burnt out ever since. He's just fucking a walking crisp. And I'm like, dude, we gotta get you out of there. But and like the thing with creators, it's insane to me, but it's the same boat as us. It's basically like you dump all your money back into it with the hopes that like one day it'll pay off. So he's basically not made like profit. He's been like, he doesn't have a couch in his living room. It's just like fucking, it looks like my office right now, but just his life. It's crazy.
Didn't you say he had like, I don't want to air out his laundry, but I will, because this is the Smart Nonsense podcast. Doesn't he have like tens of thousands of costs
similar cost to us.
From what?
He's got like, well, so
he
now
like a thumbnail
he
person?
outsourced some of his shorts. This is like super recently that his like clips that he's kind of like me, where he's like, he'll be super micromanagey if he sees it, but he just like, it's like, no, you guys just do the shorts, the thing that I was really good at. I'm just not going to look at him ever. I just look at the numbers. So he has a team there that costs, well, I don't want to like air his stuff out too much, but like costs a good amount. Then he's got this person that comes and helps him in the studio full time.
So he's making decent money and he's starting to build.
Yeah, but it's just like stressful, dude, because if your views go down, now all of a sudden you're underwater, and that's what happens when you get spam botted for 6 months. So it
another one actually, our buddies that do All In Talk, they were like the clips for All In, they were saying like they got attacked by like some Ukrainian bots that were targeting David Sachs and like destroyed
Dude,
their
I mean, I
Instagram.
believe it. It's kind of crazy how that can happen.
I also, yeah, it's just maybe I'll have the last laugh because it'll happen to us, but like to me, it's just kind of hilarious. I guess the nice thing is like we're not so dependent on content. Like we have a business that, I mean, the business is what keepes us alive, not content. If content went to zero, like,
Dude,
all right, we find something
if
else to do, or
content
we'd
went
figure
to
out a different
zero, we'd
avenue.
make a lot more money, and then life would actually be great too.
Right.
So kind of like win-win.
Oops.
And yeah, we're literally like
Kill it.
our business comes from Twitter. Well, we'll see with this short that you're putting out today for clips
And word of mouth, honestly, like we're booting up a pretty hardcore word of mouth flywheel where like you're getting all these texts from friends
Dude, from,
introing
like,
you to
fucking
friends
Todd V
that need
dating
help.
6 years ago.
It's just, and we were talking to Durdfin, our web designer from Demandflow, Steven. And he was saying like, yeah, man, like the trick with B2B is just staying top of mind at all times for these companies so that like we've said it, I think on here, like we want to be in a position where when any business or creator thinks about video and they can't do it themselves, they come to us. And so you're clearly just top of mind for these friends because we're putting out a ton of content. We're talking about everything we know about content. Like we just did a product demo for Replit in like 4 business days. They loved it. Their feedback at the end was like, hey, just introed you to our design firm that does all of our branding. Hope that's okay.
Yeah.
I think he was being facetious, but like,
Well,
of course
that's what's going to be sick is like before our product was good in most cases, like we have really good editors, but now with like Jack, your brother, actually running the thing, he's going to build it out correctly so that
honestly,
and
Linky.
yeah.
Linky, we put in place. This was we kind of did a restructuring internally to put the right people in the right seats, the right butts, or yeah, not the right butts in the right seats. Different analogy. The right people in the right seats. We put Linky into ops. Linky is this like proactive. I mean, Linky works like Philippines hours and US hours every single day. Let me just put it that way. She's an absolute workhorse. Understands the fundamentals of business, gets marketing. And so I think Linky, as the person who interfaces with all clients now, is just crushing.
Yeah, I'm flying blind, to be clear.
Obviously,
I'm
others are. But
totally above the clipped clouds for the most part. I'm just kind of funneling some leads every now and again. But yeah, that's just a key layer that our buddies, Shane Mack, he had sort of a similar company with executive assistants. He's like, hey guys, I see what you're doing. I tried something similar, but I was missing one fundamental piece, which was this, like, what do they call it? Communications layer. Yeah,
communications layer.
Like have someone in place just to make sure they're getting the most out of their executive assistant or their editors in our case, and just being proactive about everything.
And what was fascinating is he showed us basically the revenue graph of their assistant staffing agency, Go Squared Away. And basically they launched this thing, and for 3 years, the thing was just kind of puttering around. It was doing okay. Probably worse than we were actually for years 0 through 3. And then he showed us the graph. He's like, this is the day we introduced the communications layer, which basically goes in and shows clients how to most effectively use their assistant proactively. Like we go in, we get their calendar, we suggest things that they can delegate from their email to an assistant. And their graph at that moment just goes hockey stick. And a similar thing, Jack actually came into our business and he was like, guys, our entire business, our fundamental business is onboarding editors, having clients get good edits as quickly as possible and having their expectations met. And he's like, we suck at that. And so now they're on this quest to like clean up the onboarding because our entire business is onboarding and we weren't doing it. So that's where we're starting to see this like potential.
Also, there's this like, if you set up the structure right at the start in the first month, people will just create amazing content for years and years. Basically, like us with shorts, for example. Easy, me retired, coming back. But like it, or the podcast or whatever it is, it's just like you set up sort of like a content queue, with whatever content is going to get you towards your mission, and you know it's like the right type of content. All you have to do is just show up every day and just build out the queue, and they rip, and it's just like a system that just happens. There was what is this book by the Dilbert guy? It's like um it's basically
System. Something about being dumb.
how to fail at
How
everything,
to get
how to
shit
fail at
done
everything
without
and
being
still
yeah
fucking succeed, win big. Yeah.
win big.
And that's basically like, hey, you can have these big goals, but just like ignore them. All you want to do is figure out what is the system that will get you there. And so we should, like, our job should really be to build the system in the first month for content, like even content they don't even imagine. Like, hey, we're expecting to do some clips on this, and it's like, hey, you don't want to do clips. You want to do this other thing, like set them up to succeed. We don't really do that. It's just kind of whatever happens, happens.
Girdley said something cool yesterday. So he's got 3 clipped editors, and his content guys were like, we're at a point where, how did they put it? They're like, when we put something in the queue to get edited, we are now confident it's going to come back to us and beat expectations. That's kind of what he said. And then Girdley jumped in and was like, because he doesn't do anything with the content team. He's like, I just kind of float in Slack. And I used to see, when we used to get edits back from other folks on the internet, I'm just looking at like the occurrence of the word best or like best edit ever. And he was like, before these clipped editors, I would say when a video came back to us, we'd be like, this is the best video or new benchmark 1 in 20 times, or probably more, 1 in 50 times or something. And I forget what he said exactly, but he was like, now I see that best edit ever benchmark being exceeded like either every edit or like 1 in
It's like every other
like something
edit,
like
basically.
that. And we were like, every other edit. And we were like, that's one of our key principles on our personal team, which is like, we want to, when we receive an edit back, we want it should feel like a gift. When someone's delivering something to us, we shouldn't be scared to like click and watch it. It should feel like a gift. And that's the magic of having like a good editor on your team.
So,
hey dude, this turned into one long promo. How about that?
Yeah.
That is our only job now. And we are cooking, my brother.
It's funny, whoever comes into this role, like, I think I was kind of like the first person to get cooked in this role. And then, well, you've always been running the company in the background, but like I got cooked, then Nico got cooked, now Jack's getting cooked, and just like everyone that comes in gets cooked. But I mean, there's no one else to get cooked after Jack, so he better like fucking decook himself somehow.
I think he actually needs to build. We're not quite there yet, but I think he needs to build a small sales team, because there's just like, when you have a lot of leads coming in, there's just so many balls in the air. There's so many email threads and phone calls. And I think like one person can really only probably handle 15 accounts, 20 accounts. And Jack's probably on like 50.
Well, that's
while also managing and running the company.
The funny thing is, like, I was originally worried because like before we really stepped into like going hard on Twitter, there was like a little lull in lead flow where basically Jack came in and like the first week we basically like didn't have many leads, or like second week, whatever it is. And I was worried. I'm like, fuck, kind of all the pressure is on us. It'd be nice if like Jack knew how to get leads or something, or we had like some other avenue. I was like worried about leads for a little bit because like you got to have money coming in, but now it's just the opposite problem.
There was a lull where Nico was head of sales. He had been cooked. He was microwaved. So he kind of eased up on nurturing the pipeline after 2 weeks. And so after 2 weeks, we had this lull, and we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know, was it Nico? Was it our editors? Was it lead gen? Why do we have this lull? And then I went and looked in the pipeline, and I'm like, Nico's saying the pipeline's cold because he's cooked. And I go in and look, and I'm like, no, like there's a lot of meat here. I think one of the biggest learnings we've had in the last 6 months is, because we didn't do it until then, but like sales is, at least in the world we are, maybe B2B, pure hustle. just like relentless nurturing pinging of the pipeline. Having all the names in front of you, hitting them up once a week, moving them through the pipeline, answering their questions, blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, there was a lull because Nico was cooked. Then Jack came on. He started pinging the pipeline alongside me. Momentum picked up, and now it's just
fucking charbroiled.
He's cooked. So there will probably be another lull, which is why I think you need to start building. You need to not cook people on sales so that you can just maintain this momentum.
I mean, I wouldn't change anything because it's nice that he gets the sales experience so that when you build a team,
that's what he wanted.
It's perfect.
He's happy about because he was actually coming in blind. He didn't understand the sales process. He didn't know what kind of questions customers were asking. He didn't know much about onboarding. So like he's had this trial by fire where we just put him in. And he's cooked, yes, but he's also he kind of sees the path out and the systems he needs to create.
Jason Fried, David Heinemeier Hansen, they're like, hey, hire when it hurts, or like in our case, hire when you're cooked. It's like
hire when you're cooked.
Hey, any goo to fucking?
You must have a thread or two.
Well,
I have one. I have a good learning for the Dirtians. Comes from Veritasium.
Sure.
Do we want that?
I don't know if I got any goo. So
let's do that. Veritasium put out this poll that I thought was interesting, just in terms of how to make money as a creator. Veritasium is this guy that does great education, like long form, 30-minute educational videos on sciencey stuff, STEM stuff. So he says, we're in the process of relaunching our Patreon and curious what would most motivate you to join. This is a poll on YouTube. And I'm sitting and I'm having a poo and I'm like, all right, one, let me answer this honestly. But then two, like, I really want to see the results. Like, what is this? Because I think he's got a pretty smart audience. So like, what are they looking for? The options: Patreon exclusive videos. Number two, giveaways of signed video props. I'm like, stupid as fuck. 3, giveaways of signed video props right now. Sorry. 3, news and behind the scenes updates. 4, Q&As and ways to interact with Derek and the Veritasium team. 5, anything. I just want to support the channel. What would you have voted, by the way?
I want
exclusive videos.
I go for the signature
behind the scenes,
fucking memorabilia shit.
Q
props.
12% of people did.
Kind of comparing it to what I do pay for now. I pay for
Johnny.
Well,
Harris.
Johnny, I think I'm unsubscribed. I should check that again because I pay for Wilkinson, which is
tell the people
Wilkinson's like $16 a month or something like that, maybe $19 a month.
29, I think.
Fuck yeah, you're right.
I think it's
you're
29.
Right. Man, I should really get into that. That's a dinner.
Billionaire. So billionaire Andrew Wilkinson, who we adore, by the
generous
way,
billionaire,
starts a Twitter.
It's probably a couple hundred,
right? On paper, illiquid. Starts a Twitter subscription pool where people can get like his quarterly reports or earnings calls.
What it is Q&As.
29.
We get a Q&A a month for an hour, basically. And I don't know.
Didn't he stop doing them though?
I don't know. I gotta check. He did. Well, now he's bringing on guests, and I'm like,
check because you send me your you send me your credit card statements, and it's just like January 29, February 29, March 29, April 29.
Well,
you're locked in. Same with Johnny
point
Harris.
Is,
you're like, I've been paying for this guy for 18 months.
He's a smart enough dude where I will spend $30 a month just to like hear him, and sometimes I don't even hear him. So it's like Q&A is valuable to me. Johnny Harris, I like the behind the scenes just because we were building a similar system. What else do I pay for? Newsletter.
So you'll vote anything just to support the channel.
Maybe, but
you're just
I support. I got a lot of like Twitter subscriptions.
Tab.
Like I don't know, probably a handful of them.
Massimo.
I think I unsubscribed from that one. I didn't need that one. I should probably just.
Anywho, I voted for Patreon exclusive videos. I like, a little extra meat that you can't get anywhere else. I think that's cool. And I was shocked to find out that almost half, 43% of people voted for Q&As and ways to interact with Derek and the Veritasium team. And we're texting each other because you have this motto you live by, right? What would this look like if it were easy? I'm like, God damn, like almost half of people just want Derek to boot up for a little bit and answer some questions on Patreon. Like, that's pretty cool. By the way, this has 23,000 votes. In second place, before my exclusive videos, was anything. I just want to support the channel, which is also like easier than Q&As, which is crazy.
Right.
So you do the math. Third place, 17% was exclusive videos, which is hard. You have to produce more content.
And it sucks because you're producing content that's gated. So like, that's why people do ads, because they want like all their content to be seen by everybody. But now, you know, the best stuff is hidden.
So that's cool. Dude, did you know that like, I think Flagrant podcast probably makes like 250 grand a month on Patreon? Same with like Ludwig. Like just the cult of folk. I don't even know what they give away in Patreon, if anything.
I mean,
could you
the thing is though, it's like the business, I guess, merch too that they do. But no, I get that. I'm pretty against it still, because I'm like, hey, it's not on the mission. Like, it would probably be nice in that we could probably break even on our team if we really tried. But like,
I'll give you another good one. Van Neistat, solo creator, makes like 18, 20, 22 grand a month. He actually had to turn off the amount he was making, I think, on Patreon, which that's just like so baller. This is a guy with 500,000 subscribers that makes the most hyper niched content for crazy niche content. And he's just booling on Patreon. Plus he's probably making decent ad money on YouTube.
I'm just philosophically against it. I think it's a distraction, and I'd rather just make textbooks. Fuck, dude. Negative.
My bad.